sunshine is shining, and it is the 9th of August. The update here is that I have to go in here again to the trucks and auto auction. There's a couple cars we're looking at. I want to get something a little bit more functional for this transformation and transition going forward. I have done business with them before, so that's good. But we have a BMW X5 4.4 liter with only 120,000 miles, and then there's some details on the Avalanche, Chevy Avalanche, that is intriguing because one, it's really loaded, it's a bigger truck, and they're always really nice and good for resale with the trucks, maintaining their value. So with all this inflation going on in the world, it's kind of one of those things where I wanted to take advantage of this second wave of financial benefits and gets things kind of rolling in the business aspect. So we'll show you kind of what that process looks like, looking at the car, and yeah, it's actually a fun process. It's a lot less tedious than going to a dealership a lot of the time, but that's another thing I might be able to incorporate in this video to follow up on. So let's go ahead and get in here. I'm just recording this on my phone, to be a little bit less inconspicuous. So let's go. How you doing?
Good.
I needed to okay. I got 2 vehicles on your auction tomorrow that I want to be looking at.
Okay. Have your driver's license?
Of course.
Okay. And which two were they?
The BMW X6 4.4 liter and the Avalanche.
Do you remember what the lot number is?
116 is the BMW.
Okay.
And I can maybe look it up for the other one, but I don't have it on my phone right now.
Have you been here before?
Yes.
So you know not to drive them, right?
Yes. I can start it though.
Yes.
Let me look at the catalog here. There it is. It's LTZ 08 lot 182.
182. Okay.
This is the lot. It's actually pretty sweet. Like the thing I like about this BMW is that I know that it's a one owner. It went through a Lithia dealership. I used to work for a Lithia dealership. I see the BMW over there. I gotta find the Avalanche, and it's right here. So real quick, I used to work for a Lithia dealership. A lot of the times when a trade-in comes in, they don't want to put in the extra work because it's an older value, and especially in a market like it is right now, it makes it pretty difficult to make any profit. So it's easier for them just to dump it off for a private party to buy it. So let's look at this Avalanche first. So here we go. Avalanche looks pretty nice. It has a similar ding. Here, I'm gonna lower my mask. I'm outside now. Has a similar ding to like kind of what happened on my other vehicle in the corner panel. So there's a little ding there. There's some obvious outside deals. The tires don't look horrible. It's pretty standard though as far as like the wheels. There's no upgrades. There's no sidebar, but like I was saying, the Avalanche has the moonroof and some pretty cool loaded stuff. So I got the keys in here somewhere. So let me pull out the keys and we'll look inside. Alright, so already I was wrong. When you open the door, this does come out. So it just has that roll out, whatchamacallit. So got the scanner here. Try and find how to plug this in. It's a nice big truck though. DVD player. I don't know if it has like the whatever dual control air conditioner, but pretty much everything else should be kind of the nice upgrade. But the whole reason here is that I like the idea of maybe getting to an all-wheel drive. Just got to go a little older than in the past. Okay, I found it. I'm just gonna go with a scan before I turn it on. This is pretty intricate, so you're really just wanting to get all the data first, and then when you get home you can kind of figure that out. I gotta get a VIN though real quick. Okay, so I got the VIN. Should be connecting now. Alright, so it looks like the only not equipped is an amplifier, a Bose amplifier that may have been in here before, and a body control module auxiliary. So now it's scanning each one. It says it's about 60% complete on this initial scan. This is the automatic GMV 48.1 system scan, just with the key turned on, not turned over. So you can go to a dealership, you can submit your financing, you probably already know where you're at with your credit and all that. You definitely know how much money you have on the sideline. The difference is when you buy from an auction, you have to have all the everything up front, plus they charge a 10%, plus they charge a dock fee, plus they charge a 3-day $60 registration, so you can basically get through that process and of getting it registered with the state that you're going to be doing it, and then essentially afterward they'll send you your title, and you never really have to do anything more than of course roll your title over for insurance and anything else that you need for it and so forth. Because this Avalanche even is an 08. My other current car is a 13. This is a LTZ, which is still a really nice model, while the other one's still a titanium. So I don't think I'm going to be losing too much on functionality, but there are quite a few little things popping up where we have the engine misfire detected. That's a little alarming. That's from the engine control module. There's also a mirror motor vertical circuit short. Mirror motors, so the mirrors kind of tilting may have something sensitive with them. It could also be because I don't have the car turned on. Different things do take a certain level of connectivity to get those functions. The park assist module does have a short circuit as well in the rear sensor 1, 3, and 4. So there's only, I don't know how many it has in full, but I would guess maybe 4, maybe 6. So 2, 5, and 6, or just 2 are working. The passenger presence system plausibility failure, so that might be like a weight sensor or something in the passenger seat. That's kind of a big issue as far as safety is concerned. And then the EBC, electronic brake control. So when you're looking at a bigger vehicle, especially a truck, brakes can be really expensive. That's something to take into account when I'm looking at this. Every single other thing, the sensors, rollover, remote control, memory seats, HVAC, body control, digital radio, fuel pump, transmission, and so on. Everything else outside of what I just stated is clear. And see how she sounds. This one has 141,000 miles. Does have a half tank of gas. It feels super smooth right now, but most trucks do. It's 141,000 miles. You know, it's not perfect, but you know. So let's just go take a walk around and see what else we can see on this. Inside you have, of course, a pretty nice cluster up here with the actual direction on the mirror. The temperature, it has OnStar, the old tech. The moonroof controls, of course. here underneath. It looks like all the lights are working on the driver's side, working on the passenger side. The back seat is very spacious. This auction does a really good job of like cleaning out the vehicles and making sure they're like at least some version of showroom ready. It looked like the check engine light that was on, of course, like normal when you just have it in start mode, did go off once the vehicle started. I think this vehicle is definitely going to probably stay in the higher ballpark, unfortunately, just because it is fairly clean. And the biggest concern I was seeing immediate is the braking system and some sensors. So you don't really want to get too deep into the heavier, more expensive ends of things, because those things can be pretty bad and set you back quite a bit on top of what you're already spending at the auction. But you know, if this thing were to go down to a decent level, we'll watch that and see how it rolls out tomorrow. But yeah, it definitely feels really nice and smooth. So I'll leave the tool here in the car. Unlock all the doors. The back door swinging really nice. Pretty good access to it. DVD player. These are so old school. It's just very kid friendly, so not the worst thing. Yeah, the door seems really nice. Easy pop out. It does have the fuel cap, taking 85, regular gas. The cab in the back does have a nice under lighting, which Avalanche usually does. Rolling out on the top. Wheels been cleaned. They don't look old. This back door's smooth, good weight. Same with the passenger door. So the other thing here is, of course, you're looking at an as-is stickers. And solid truck. Alright, then let's look under the hood real quick. Had to go pop that. Super clean Ford Sedan V8, or the V8. I'm not sure exactly the liters. Looks like a pretty brand new battery. Everything looks uber clean. It looks like the second battery is missing though. That looks like a battery platform right here. So that's something to look at, because that smaller battery, that's a pretty small battery for this big of a truck. And I'm not as familiar with the Chevy Avalanche, but I'll double check if it can take a second battery for auxiliary or whatever else. But and the hood goes down, the lines are clear. So we'll call this one good on the check. Just some of the cosmetics and age and miles to take into consideration here. So let's go to the next one. But yeah, it's an 06. It does also have the backup sensors. These things are loaded. I used to work for BMW Lithia, so it has the nice rack on it. The thing is, it definitely needs 2 new tires. The back ones are super meaty with the all-terrain open range. Looks like P245 55R17s, so 17-inch rims on it with the race line. And we can find out how expensive those are. Coloring wise, you know, the paint's holding up, but you can definitely see there's some cosmetics on it. And when you roll over here to the front tires though, alignment issues perhaps, whatever it is, but not taking care of it. It's been a one-owner vehicle, so they probably just got to the end of it and like, hey, I don't want to invest in 50,000 miles more for new tires. Some of the decals definitely look like they could use some extra cleaning and TLC. The lines look clean and clear. The roof's a little dirty. It's kind of super hard. You can tell here, even on the weather stripping, that there's some breakage on it. And of course the fogging over of the fronts. Now, one of the cool parts that I really did like is having these attached. It's a really small thing, but it does like kind of make for functionality for an off-road vehicle really nice. I already got the OBS sensor plugged in, but definitely, so 2 front tires required, and probably some other little accessories that I would add on to something like this. Also, the front windshield cracked, small chip, that should take it down. Interior wise, you can see here on the lock there, it doesn't have its covering. There's some missing hardware, it looks like. And let me turn down the volume here. The LEDs look really nice and clear. 120,409 miles in park. Yeah, let's try to expedite this process a little bit this time and try and get this thing loaded up. It's literally that one, so it's just an unlock all. It looks like it works for all of them. Now, there's always, like, not always, but a lot of times with these here, the heat stress in the vehicle, there's some cracking. Doesn't look like it's at any level where some of my older BMWs, they are cracking enough to where they'll actually fall off. And I really do like this old man looking interior with the black and everything else. It has some weird attachment here on the corner that I'm not sure of. It's that crack in the windshield. There's no moonroof on this one. I thought for sure it would have a moonroof, but it does not. Lights on the mirror work here. Lights work there. You got 3 garage door openers, the light, passenger, whatever, light here, and then BMW always has these extra weird sensors. It's for like your windshield wiper sensing and whatever. Yeah, a Rebel energy drink. Interesting. So here on the pop out, this BMW does have the upper hand release for the tailgate, and then this lower one, I gotta remember how to do this. How to get it to come down. I can be kind of retarded when it comes to this, so yeah, that's a fold out. Yeah, I think I'm just being stupid or something. But that tailgate should come down for the tail light. Overall, not a bad truck. So look at the back seat. There's a little bit extra wear right here. This AC thing I'm going to turn down. That's the rear AC. It just opens up. Looks like got an air freshener in here. Not that that matters. And then, so I like it, but again, not something I'm going to go spend a fortune on. Something that's just fluid and functional. So let's see how this scan runs. In the BMW, BMW feels kind of more familiar to me. The Avalanche is so much bigger. It won't have as good a fuel economy, but it's also a bigger investment with higher miles and different things like that. So as far as the functionality for what I'm really looking for, this definitely falls in better ballpark. I'd say my max on this is going to be at 45. I'd like to have it more at 4 or below. The last auction here it went for 4,700 because we're also accounting in for that extra 10%, those dock fees, the other different deals, and the equity I pretty much have in the Ford right now is closer to like 10,000, if not just a little bit more, because of the titanium. And the only where I'm really losing is because the miles are up at 132,000 on that one. So this one has lower miles. It's an older body. It's been a one owner though. The last BMW I bought had similar history where BMW buyers, like, they like BMW, they'll buy a brand new one and just drive it to the ground. And so like somebody who buys it needs to kind of understand the proxies and whatever runs on the vehicle here. So far it's looking like everything ran through. It's coming into the tail end where it's just finding the not equipped with satellite, bi-pillars and multi-information clusters, and or it does have that, but it's no fault code. The navigation does not have. So we do have 5 ECM codes, 1 transmission code, 2 transfer case codes, 3 anti-lock braking system codes, 2 steering angle sensor codes, and 3 instrument cluster codes. There's one on the radio, one on the CD, one on the radio, one on the supplemental inflatable restraint, and one on the switching control center, whatever that is, just says under voltage. And then there's 12 on the light switching center, which may explain like the bulbs that are here in the glove compartment. And the last one is the digital sound processor. Those things I'm really not too concerned with. But when I look at this, the lighting, that can be an issue driving safely on roads. And you never want like that vehicle that just has like that drain. There's like always a drain on the battery type of a thing. We'll see how it rolls over when I've just been keeping it running, whatever it's running in, but not charging up the battery or via the alternator right now. And with the other codes like the transfer case, that's huge. The anti-lock braking system, transfer case malfunction alone, don't like that. So let's just start her. Yeah, let's see. So it took a while to start up. It kind of was churning to get going. Yeah. There's also a check engine light on. 4x4 sensor is on. Sounds good, but this one kind of like, yeah, I've got to maybe back off of this one, unfortunately. It's not the worst thing in the world, but this is why I like showcasing this maybe on the channel. This is like part of that business where try to build up a little bit of equity and then go forward and figure out what the best kind of course of action is. When I'm overvalued in certain areas, or I have creature comforts with the car right now, for example, I want to do other bigger things on the YouTube channel going forward. So that kind of just means, for the purposes of explaining this and creating value for others, that we've been wasting a lot of money in a lot of different ways for a lot of years, and then all of a sudden we go through a pandemic and so many people are sitting in abundantly. And I kind of see that there's 1% of the population, they pretty much control that aspect, the financial sector. So we're just kind of fighting for leverage in today, and this is a really great way to go about that. I don't know how many families there are out there that don't have a vehicle, or they don't have their second vehicle, because it's hard to not be able to take the kids to school and then have like balancing your work schedules and just everything else. It's important to do your own diagnostics, understand what you're buying, and sell when the market's right. So the market's right now for me to sell a higher end vehicle with all the work done, myself, private party, and then, or at least let someone else use it while I'm considering that and working on a side project like this. So when I'm looking at an investment and I go to an auction, I want to have something as a second vehicle that I don't necessarily need to do anything but have it parked and testing, because the registration will come around and I'll always have my primary vehicle. But once I get that one up to code and that can become a daily driver, then I have that option of making the move with the original vehicle. You know, maybe there's always that off chance you can find a vehicle that at the auction, like I did with the Ford, where all it needed was tires, some suspension, and you know, some TLC in terms of its fluids and oil changes and whatever else, and now it's just amazing to have. But again, creature comfort's not what I'm here for. I'm here to kind of pay it forward and educate other people on how to kind of navigate this in a more abundant way. I'm no, you know, amazing car guy or anything. I've just gone through a lot of different vehicles, and I haven't been financing for a really long time. So this is the way that I've been able to sustain and drive a little bit nicer vehicles and not have to have full coverage all the time and held to stipulations on payments and blah 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 that kind of adjust your debt to income ratio, for instance. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is just two showcases between an Avalanche 08 older, probably cleaner vehicle, or the BMW. So let's I'm gonna turn this off, and then we'll just give it a little second. It's doing check side lights. It's doing some extra stuff after the car's off. Okay, so put the key back in. So yeah, on the second start, I could tell like there's kind of a chunk to it. It didn't click or take instantly, but also from the first start, because I had the battery in for so long, this isn't a vehicle that has that substantial amount of power, and that's a really easy like diagnostic. Just run it, run the code, go get your key in it, drain as much of the battery, take your time, and then when you do get time to start it up, see how it responds. It's still caught, so it's not like an all in all, you know, can't buy this thing for a daily driver right now, but you do have to baby this vehicle until you get things dialed in a little bit better. So yeah, good stuff. Let's get out of here. I want to go eat. Yeah, hope you guys have a great week. Call someone, tell them you love them, and consider doing something in terms of downgrading and pay it forward to someone else and put yourself in a better situation. Whatever your situation is, I hope that this helps. It gives you some bearings on how I go about my process of investigating a vehicle and how and why I'm justifying the way that I'm looking at it. So it's all about testing, figuring out what works, what you need, versus all of those extra creature comforts that have essentially like been inflating this market and been manipulative for a very long time. We also got a check engine light on this thing, so that's to be expected. Let's get the hell out of here. Peace.